This is our torso opener circuit. The main thing to remember as you move through these movements is the emphasis is on what your torso is doing as opposed to your shoulder or whatever else. So as you're trying to get more range of motion, think of how we can turn our torso more to do it as opposed to like reaching from other places. So the first movement in the circuit is actually more of a stretch. You're gonna begin in a pigeon stretch. So we can just have our leg come across, the shin can be on the floor. If you prefer to have your toes down with the heel elevated, it is okay, but it's not required. So we're gonna have our normal pigeon stretch, and then the opposite arm of your lead leg, so my right leg being my lead leg, means I'm gonna come with my left arm. I'm gonna reach across. The same side leg can just, that hand can just support and balance on the ground, but I'm just reaching across. I'm trying to feel a good stretch through the arm into the lat, and it should kind of spiral over into that lead hip and down. So I think it's like from your lead hip glute up through your opposite arm shoulder. And we are just holding. And then you would have both sides. Same thing on the other side, opposite arm, opposite leg, reaching across. The second movement is gonna be sort of a thread the needle variation, if you've ever done that movement. We're gonna begin with creating kind of a tripod between our two knees and our hand. Where you put this hand right now doesn't matter too much because you can move this hand, this elbow, as you go, so it's allowed to kind of move around. So if you misplace it a little bit, you can just adjust it later. What we're doing, our other arm, okay, so in this case, my right arm, is gonna be palm up, and my goal, I'm gonna be reaching through my own arm. I need to get this shoulder down to the floor. That's why it's okay to now move and bend this. You'll see as I go through, my elbow will bend to bring me a little lower as we're going. So I'm gonna be reaching through with the palm up. I'm trying to turn my chest towards that wall in order to get more of that shoulder down. And so now my shoulder's down. You can see I bent my elbow to get there. I'm reaching. If I want a little more stretch, I can push off of this hand and push my torso more to face that way. And then you have two choices. As we come up and rotate out of it, I can either go elbow bent and then go back through, or I can go arm straight. That part is just personal preference. Either way though, we wanna go back to a straightened arm on this side if it has bent in the initial pass. So whether you want bent arm or straight, as I rotate through, I'm using this arm and straightening it out in order to push my chest that way, so it's torso rotation, and then I have whatever arm position I want, and we would have both sides, okay? The final position is gonna be out of a half kneel. So we're gonna begin, we want about 90 degrees in both knees, so knee directly on top of my ankle, and then I'm gonna have my other hand just down, and I can go any hand position I want if you prefer fist, versus palm or whatnot, totally fine. So now from here, this foot needs to stay down and it needs to stay facing forward. So we can think big toe pressure during part of this because the knee will kind of move out, but I want to keep this looking forward. Our goal here is to try and get this elbow as close to the ground next to the ankle as possible. Don't force it, just go with whatever it gives you. As you're going down, creating pressure through the big toe and pushing that knee out will open up more space in this hip for you to go down to that position or wherever it needs to be. The important part though is that this shin remains vertical as opposed to forward. So one of the major mistakes is when we're trying to get lower, we go forward, and you can see we've now kind of left the position that we want to be in. So this shin should remain vertical, which is another way of saying maintain your 90-degree angle. So elbow down to the floor as close as we can get. I can push that knee out to help. And then same thing as the previous movement. I can either go elbow bent or arm straight. So I'm going down towards the floor. I'm trying to bring my torso down in this motion. And then again, as I'm turning, I can use this arm that is straightened to turn my chest, and I have whatever hand position, arm position works best for me. And then you have both sides. That's gonna be our torso opener circuit.